It's spooky season, so you know what that means. Every YouTuber is reviewing horror films. Ooh, creepy. Me too. This is the Babadook. I think that was close. I kind of nailed the voice. This one was directed by Jennifer Kent, and I watched it with audio description, which was great. And yeah, this is my first time seeing the Babadook. I know it's been like 9 years. I don't know. I just finally got around to it. Yeah. Anyway, so it's actually kind of great to get around to it in October because it's the time. It's the time when we talk about things that are possibly scary, potentially scary. This one seems to be one of those things that is maybe was scary when it came out and then got turned into a meme, and now I don't think anybody knows what to do with it. But I think if people watch it, they'll actually be pretty impressed. I was pretty impressed for a lower budget Australian horror film. I didn't really know what to expect. You know, I'm not familiar with the work of Jennifer Kent. She doesn't have anything on here that I've seen. I know I am familiar with The Nightingale, which is the film that she made after this. I haven't seen it, but I know what it is. And other than that, before that, I don't know. I'm just not deep in Australian cinema. Sorry, I don't know who these actors are. It's very Australian. So, but it's also very not Australian, which is funny. You know, you don't feel like they're constantly running out to, I'm gonna throw some shrimp on the barbie. You know, it's not trying to be overly Australian. It's really, some could have taken place anywhere. Like in any country. Any country could have made this film. This is not like uniquely Australian where they're like, the Babadook is a kangaroo or something like that. This has nothing to do with the country of origin. It just happens to be in Australia, just like most horror films happen to be wherever they are. The film features a mother who I guess is grieving at the top, but you don't really pick up on the grieving until kind of it comes up, and then you're like, oh, that's why. Okay, all right, that's why there's no dad here, because you don't really know. It doesn't really tell you right away. The film is actually pretty good. It's actually pretty well written, so things just kind of like slowly happen in the film the way that they're supposed to. But I don't mean slowly in the way where I was bored out of my mind. I mean like the film actually establishes itself. I actually enjoyed the fact that the film didn't go for cheap jump scares early on and actually let the film build. One of the things I really liked about The Conjuring, the original Conjuring, was that it did that also. The original Conjuring, it takes like half the movie before there's a jump scare. Like, you actually build into the film and you get to see this family and then moving into the house, and like it just feels like it's investing you in the characters. And if you can get invested in characters, you can be so much more invested in a horror movie. But these horror movies that like feel like they have to start you off with, you know, zero character development and just immediately attack you with whatever horror creature they've created, then I don't care about the characters. You know, I'm not invested in them at all. Here, I was oddly, I was watching The Babadook and I just kept telling people, I was like, I'm watching this film and there's a kid here that, I mean, I love kids. Like, I enjoy spending time. He makes me question if he was my kid. I would be like, I can't. I literally can't with you. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to leave you with these people, and maybe they can. You know, but that's the whole point of the film, and I didn't realize that until you get down to the end. Is the whole point is that Sam is so ever-loving obnoxious. He is so obnoxious in this film that he drives his mother insane. So, like, but she's also dealing with stuff, and it's about being the parent and being the adult and being able to take control of something. And you feel like she has control at the beginning. I did feel like at the beginning of this film that for the most part she was trying as hard as she could, and I respected the fact that she clearly just wasn't medicating her kid, you know, because some people, they're just like, give my kid drugs, please. And then she finally did reach that point where she's like, please, I need to sleep, please give him drugs. And I was like, at that point, you know, Jennifer had done such a good job as a director of making me believe in this kid. This kid was on point. I mean, I don't know if they gave this kid like 8 Red Bulls before he shot every day, but he had so much energy. And he was so loud. And if that was on point direction, or if he was cast that way, I don't know if he was like on set and he was in his audition and he just has a ton of energy and they were like, yes, that kid over there, the kid that's wrecking shit, give me him. He's exactly what I want. It's either a brilliant performance or excellent casting. It's one of two things. Because Sam is so, yeah, and it's weird how you don't realize how integral to the plot that is until you've seen the whole film and you're like, damn, now I feel bad for being mad at him, because now I realize that was the whole point of this story. You know, that's so deeply entrenched in the film and in her character and the exhaustion of her character and reaching a breaking point. You know, this film is as much an allegory as it is to be taken literally as a, you know, an actual Babadook. But I mean, there is a Babadook. It's funny how little that character actually appears, though, when you think about it. Even through the narration, there are times when it just seems like the clothing appears. There's like a top hat and a coat. And you're like, it's not really a Babadook, though. It's just kind of a top hat and a coat over there in a weird place. I mean, it's weird that seems to be following you around, that you see a top hat and coat hanging in places. But, yeah, she's slowly being haunted by displaced clothing. But Sam he's so much, and I didn't even know what to do with the first part of it. I felt so bad for her. I was like, I understand. You're trying to do the right thing, and God love you. And when that school, there's a scene at the beginning with the school, and the school's like, we can't have him in normal class anymore. He's going to need to be pulled out and put by himself. I was just like, listen, I get it, but like, that's your job. And also, he's young enough that you should totally have a teaching. I don't know how it works over in Australia, if they just throw 24 kids into a room and let the teacher just go ham with 6-year-olds. Kid's 6, by the way. They're pretty clear about how old he is throughout the course of the film. I remember his age. I mentioned it like multiple times. And in America, we've got America teacher's aides. So for that very reason, because we know one adult and 24 6-year-olds is a bad idea. So I don't know what Australia expects of their 6-year-olds, but we know what 6-year-olds are like over here in America. And yeah. I felt like that was a little bit harsh, you know. They're like, oh, well, we can't give him the kind of attention that he needs. And it's like, he's 6. What grade is this? It's kindergarten? First grade? Like, what is this over here? Like, slow your roll. You know, kids are just learning to be in school at this point. So, I thought the school people were kind of a dick. And then when, like, I don't know, what was that, Child Services? Is that the Australian version of Child Services that comes by and they're like, he's not in school? And she's like, he's been out for 2 days. Well, he's not currently enrolled anywhere. And it's like, 2 days? Are you kidding me? If they were moving, it would have taken them longer than 2 days. They could have pulled him out of school and then moved somewhere, and it would have taken longer than 2 days. Like, ridiculous. Australia needs to calm down. That's what I'm saying. Like, I also learned that through the Babadook. I was like, there's some stuff. I used to think Australia was my safe country, and then I learned about all of the spiders that are going to kill me, and now I learned about child services, and I'm like, listen, I can't. 2 days. Like, what? Anyway, your child's been out for 2 days. We're very concerned. We've sent these somewhat creepy people by to stalk you. So, this is part of the set of films, although this does predate Come Play, but it's funny that in October I've now watched 2 films that are basically telling kids don't read books, they will kill you. So this is another one of those films where there's a book and you read it and then the haunting begins. So there's a book, The Babadook. I don't know, that's not the name of the book, it's something, The Babadook, like Find the Babadook or something, I don't know. It's really not important. Anyway, the book is creepy and it creeps Sam out, and I gotta give him props. I don't think anybody really gave this kid props. That kid with his launcher thing that he makes, oh, holy shit. Like, I was like, what, he's 6. That kid just Kevin McAllistered his way through life. That's amazing. Like, I don't know who taught him how to do that, but I was pretty impressed. I was like, yes. We've got Australian Home Alone here, ready to go whenever you need him. But yeah, the film keeps pushing forward and devolving, and things happen, and Sam is just really convincing, and his performance, evolves as the Babadook continues to evolve and seems to take a deeper hold on the film, and we push closer and closer towards the end. Obviously, I'm not going to spoil the whole thing for you, but I did want to get you set up with the idea of the mood and the theme, and it's very, psychological. This is actually a really good movie if you've never actually seen The Babadook. I would give it a shot. I thought the acting was solid, and it's one of those things where I admit I judged it at the beginning. I was like, Sam is way too much. And then by the end, I was like, I understand now. I apologize. So you might be the same way. It's not very violent. I don't want to give any things away, but there's a website where you can check to see whether or not animals die. I'll just say that if you're not interested, if you're like, this concerns me, you can. There's the website for that. I don't want to be too obvious about that, but you'll figure it out. I feel pretty confident in that about you. I'll give you that warning. But there's really only one moment of gore, and it was so randomly misplaced and it was so shockingly violent that I was like, it felt like I was watching just some random film that had no gore in it, and then all of a sudden, bam, and you're like, what? It'd be like watching the Blair Witch Project, but then the film ends with her head exploding. Heather Donahue is in the corner and she's scared and she's like, I can't. And then her head explodes and you'd be like, damn, that escalated fast. There's definitely a moment in this where I was like, holy shit, what? Because the film hadn't actually reached that level of gore yet in the film. There's some unsettling moments, sure. There are some things that they talk about, and there's some things that they see read in the book, but actual, sort of, I guess, as close to real life gore as possible. I was like, and it doesn't repeat itself. It doesn't, it's not like it starts off like this is when shit gets real section. It's I don't know, the film just kind of has one scene where it's like, check this out. Look at what we did. Our makeup team really wanted to get something out of the way, so we made this happen. That was There is one, so I can't say this film is not gory. It'll feel like it's not gory though, because like I said, the Babadook doesn't really appear that much in this film, and I mean, his presence is felt though. It's funny because you feel like he's constantly just gonna pop the fuck out. Like I was waiting for him all the time, and he just never shows. But it's funny how the tension is still held and how well the direction is with this film. I mean, everything from the score to the way the film is edited. I thought the tension was held really well. And by not giving me the Babadook every 10 seconds, made me want him more. Made me want, you know what I'm saying? Made the few moments that I did get him feel more special. More like, oh shit, Babadook's here. He's really here this time. Instead of like, is he coming? This feels like this could be a jump scare. I love that she doesn't go for the easy jump scares. I love that. I love the fact that this film is not full of just boo, 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 boo. It's like anybody can do that. Anybody can do that. That is what Smile is. Smile is nothing but just jump scares. If you take the jump scares out of that movie, what do you have? Is the film good? Is it really? Remove all the jump scares from Smile and then watch that film from start to finish. Let's find out if that film's good. This film shows you that it's good without constantly needing to go for the jump scare. And I respect it so much for that. And people on the internet who are shaming this film because the Babadook got turned into a meme just need to calm down and either rewatch the Babadook or watch it for the first time, because there's a lot of brilliance here, and I'm really excited about seeing more films from this director. The Nightingale has moved up my list of films I would like to see, just so I can see more films from this director. Anyway, absolutely a film I would recommend if you're looking for something spooky this October and you haven't seen anything. There's only a couple things that just kind of annoyed me about Australians. Just like in general, where I was like, damn. And there's some like really harsh things, and they really sell you on the Sam is a piece of work conversation. I mean, when she's out with her friends and she's like, why don't you come around anymore? And her friend's like, because I hate your kid. Like, I was like, damn, she said it out loud. What? Wow. Yeah, it was pretty stunning. Moments like that, I both like I loved and hated them at the same time, because I was like, would somebody actually say that out loud? Would I ever tell somebody? I think I would keep dodging and coming up with reasons. I'd be like, I don't know, I've just had COVID for the last 3 years, and I don't want to get anybody sick, it just, so I haven't been around. I don't know. I don't feel like I would ever tell a friend of mine that I hate their kid. Like, your kid sucks. I'm sorry. It has to be said. Damn. Anyway, this movie's fantastic. The audio description is solid. It was, I think, British. It's really hard to tell sometimes. I'm going to go with UK audio description here. Some of the words were different. He throws some firecrackers down, and they call them bangers. And I realized that I don't watch enough UK movies with fireworks in them. So that was the only question that I had. I was like, is that a UK term or is that an Aussie term? Huh. I don't know. I do not know the answer to that question. So, but it has a solid description of all of the creepy moments. And there are moments that are creepy without the score also feeling the need to ruin it. When like the score also intensely gets loud, or the sound design decides, this creepy moment needs a loud sound, like out of nowhere, and you're like, what is that sound? What is that sound? This film is very much more naturalistic in its approach to the exact noises that might actually be happening in a scene. So things can creep you out without necessarily it also being loud and obnoxious. So this is a very well crafted film. I'm really pretty impressed here. I can't give enough praise. I've seen a couple other films so far for my spooky season reviews that have been so I'm happy to give the Babadook an A-. Yeah, it's worthy of high praise. It's worthy of all the praise that it's gotten so far, and I think it's a solid film. There's some choices that I might have made differently. There's always that the horror movie buyer's remorse, where you play the person and you're like, if I was in this movie, I would have done this. I would have done this, and this would have prevented this. And maybe it would have, I don't know. But, yeah, I did get kind of in that mentality of second guessing and being like, would I have done that? I don't know. I don't know if I would have made that choice. But otherwise, I thought it was pretty solid. So check it out. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please click that subscribe button because I'm poor and I haven't eaten in days. And I need that subscribe. Feed me, Seymour. Also, I have a website, backtomovieguy.com. You can go to the audio description project, adp.acb.org. It'll let you know what has audio description and where you can watch it. You can go to Twitter, as long as they're not charging me, and follow me at Mac the Movie Guy, and also at Instagram and Threads at Mac the Movie Guy. You can go to the ADNA.org, that's the ADNA.org. It'll let you know who's narrating your favorite films and television series. That's it for me today. I will watch something else and see you guys on the other side.